Okay, so you're getting ready for a program manager interview,
Hmm.
and you want to really knock their socks off. You've come to the right place
Yeah.
because with RoleCatcher, we have a ton of resources, career guides, sample interview questions, all that good stuff. Think of this deep dive as your secret weapon,
Yeah.
giving you the insights and the confidence to really impress those hiring managers.
You know what's really fascinating about program management is that it's a field that is constantly evolving. As businesses are facing all these complex challenges, like digital transformation or global initiatives, they really need people who can see the big picture and can keep all the pieces moving in the right direction. This isn't just about managing individual projects, it's about orchestrating them.
Okay, I like that. Orchestration. So let's unpack this a bit. What does a program manager actually do? We hear project management all the time, but this seems different.
Yeah, you're right. It is different. A project manager focuses on a single project, but a program manager, that's someone who juggles multiple projects, all interconnected, all contributing to some larger strategic goal for the company. They're making sure everything aligns, that the resources are being used effectively, and that the program ultimately delivers real value to the company. It's a much more strategic role.
It's like conducting an orchestra. Each project is an instrument, and the program manager makes sure they all play in harmony
hmm
to create this beautiful symphony.
I love that analogy.
So let's dive into some of these interview questions you mentioned. I bet the first one they're going to ask is, how do you define program management?
Mm. I can already feel my palms getting sweaty. Oh, you don't need to sweat it. This is your chance to actually show that you really understand the role. It's not just about giving some textbook definition. What they're looking for is, do you really grasp the strategic aspect of the role? Talk about how program management goes beyond just individual projects. It's about connecting those projects to the organization's bigger goals, making sure they all contribute to the bottom line.
They want to see that you can connect the dots, not just deliver projects, but deliver projects that matter to the company's success.
Exactly. You want to demonstrate that you're not just a taskmaster, you're a strategic thinker who can see the big picture and align those projects accordingly.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit more confident already. What about the dreaded prioritization question? How do you prioritize projects within a program? Resources are always limited, so how do you decide what comes first?
Well, this is where you show off those analytical skills. The interviewer wants to see, what's your system? What's your framework for making those tough decisions? Explain how you evaluate those projects. Think about the strategic importance, the potential ROI, the resource availability, even the level of risk involved. And don't forget to mention that you involve stakeholders in this process.
Because program management is a team sport. You're not making those decisions in a vacuum.
Absolutely. It's really key here to highlight that collaborative approach.
But what about when those priorities change mid-program? I mean, let's be real, that happens all the time. How do you handle that curveball?
That's where that follow-up question comes in. What if priorities change mid-program? How flexible are you? This is your chance to showcase your adaptability. Talk about how you would reassess those priorities, how you would effectively communicate those changes, and get everyone back on track without missing a beat.
So you got to be able to pivot, adjust the game plan, but keep everyone on board and the program moving forward.
Exactly. You want to show that you can handle those unexpected challenges with grace and efficiency.
Speaking of challenges, let's talk about risks. That question, how do you manage program risks? They can make anyone nervous.
The key here is that anyone can list out risks, but a program manager needs to be proactive about mitigating those risks. Talk about identifying and assessing risks early on, involving the right people, and developing those all-important mitigation strategies.
So it's not just about knowing the risks, it's about having a plan to tackle them before they even become a problem.
Exactly. You want to demonstrate that you are thinking ahead and taking those proactive steps to keep that program on track.
And I'm sure they're going to want to hear some real-life examples
Yeah.
of how you turn a potential risk into an advantage. Have one ready to go. That'll really impress them.
Oh, for sure. A specific example. That's worth 1,000 words in an interview.
Okay, we can't talk about program management without mentioning communication. It's the glue that holds everything together. How would you approach this question? How do you ensure effective communication within a program?
Well, think beyond just emails. It's about creating this communication ecosystem that keeps everyone informed and engaged. Describe the tools and strategies you use. Regular meetings, clear reporting structures, even visual aids like dashboards. The key is to tailor your communication to different audiences. from technical teams to those high-level stakeholders.
Because everyone needs to understand the information in a way that's relevant to them.
Right. That ability to communicate effectively with all sorts of different people is crucial for a program manager.
And let's not forget about those stakeholders. It's not enough to just keep them informed. They need to feel invested in the program's success. How do you handle this question then? How do you ensure stakeholder engagement?
This is where you really demonstrate that you understand stakeholder dynamics. Explain how you identify key stakeholders, analyze their needs and expectations, and develop strategies to keep them engaged throughout that entire program lifecycle.
So it's about building relationships, not just picking boxes.
You got it. A strong program manager is a master of communication and relationship building.
I'm starting to see a bigger picture here. It's not just about managing tasks. It's about leading people,
Yeah.
building consensus,
Yeah.
and creating that shared vision for success.
Exactly. Program management is as much about people as it is about processes.
Right. We've covered a lot of ground already, but there's still so much more to explore. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to delve even deeper into those interview questions and share some more career insights.
So welcome back. We've been talking about these program manager interview questions, and now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty, managing those program budgets.
Ugh, budgets. I can already feel my eyes glazing over. But I know it's super important, so how do you impress them when they ask? How do you manage program budgets?
This is where you get to showcase your financial savvy. It's not just about staying within the budget. It's about optimizing those resources and making sure every dollar counts. Talk about your process. How do you forecast accurately, allocate resources wisely, and track that spending diligently? And be sure to mention any experience you have with budget tools or software.
I bet they love hearing about real-life examples.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had to make tough budget cuts? How did you approach it?
Definitely. If you've had to make those tough choices,
Yeah.
maybe prioritizing one project over another or finding creative ways to reduce costs without compromising quality, this is your time to really shine. Show them you can handle those pressure cooker situations.
Okay, budget's covered. Let's talk about success. I mean, it's not just about completing the project. So how do you answer this? How do you measure program success?
This question is all about showing that you understand the big picture. It's about more than just meeting those deadlines and staying under budget, although those are important too. Talk about setting clear, measurable objectives right from the get-go. Objectives that are aligned with the organization's strategic goals. And don't forget to mention the importance of both financial and non-financial metrics.
Okay, what are some examples of those non-financial metrics? Because I'm betting they'll ask.
Let's say you're launching a new product as part of your program. Yeah, sure, sales figures are important, but
Right.
what about customer reviews? Are people raving about it? That's a sign of true success. Or think about internal process improvements. Are things running more smoothly? Are teams collaborating more effectively? Those are valuable wins too.
So it's about looking beyond just the numbers
Yeah.
and considering that wider impact of the program. Things like customer satisfaction, improved efficiency,
Yeah,
maybe even a boost in employee morale.
absolutely. A successful program delivers those tangible benefits
Yeah.
that you can feel across the organization.
Okay, so now, the question that I think we all dread, scope changes, because we know they're going to happen. So how would you recommend someone approach this question? How do you handle program scope changes?
Here's where you demonstrate your ability to adapt
Yeah.
and manage change effectively. Emphasize having a structured approach. Evaluate the impact of those changes on time, cost, and scope. We call that the triple constraint. Document everything. And really importantly, get buy-in from those stakeholders.
Speaking of stakeholders,
Yeah.
getting them on board when things change, that's got to be a delicate dance.
Oh, it is. This is where your communication and negotiation skills
Yeah.
really come into play. Clearly explain the reasons for the change, address any concerns they might have, and find solutions that work for everyone. You want to maintain those strong relationships, even when things get a bit bumpy.
Okay, so we've talked about budgets, success metrics,
Mhm.
and scope changes. There's one more big one I want to hit. Dependencies. So how do you manage all of those intertwined relationships
Cool.
between projects? When they ask you, how do you manage program dependencies?
Think of it like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Every single piece relies on the others to create that complete picture. You need to show them that you can identify those dependencies, map them out visually, maybe using a Gantt chart or a network diagram, and then track them throughout that entire program lifecycle.
And this is where I think those follow-up questions can really throw you off.
Mhm.
Things like, What specific tools do you use? Or tell me about a time you had to deal with a major dependency issue.
Absolutely. Be ready to dive into those specifics. Talk about software like Microsoft Project or Primavera P6, or maybe collaborative workshops, where you identified and tackled those potential bottlenecks. The key is to show them that you have a system and that you're comfortable working with those complex interrelationships.
This is all gold. It's making me realize that program management, well, it's not just about juggling tasks. It's about understanding that intricate web of relationships between projects, people, and resources.
That's a great way to put it. It's about seeing the forest and the trees, understanding how everything connects and influences everything else.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, but before we move on to those broader career insights, let's talk about something that can give you a real edge in your interview prep. RoleCatcher's AI.
Now, this is where it gets really exciting. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your CV and highlight the skills that are most relevant to the program manager role that you're applying for. It's like having a personal career coach who knows exactly what those hiring managers are looking for.
So no more staring at that blank page, wondering how to tailor your experience to that job description.
Exactly. The AI takes all the guesswork out of it. It helps you create a CV that's really compelling and strategically aligned with the job requirements. And it doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher also offers this AI-powered interview practice, which gives you personalized feedback on your delivery, your content, and even your body language.
So it's like having a secret weapon to boost your confidence and make a killer first impression.
It takes the stress out of interview prep and gives you the tools you need to really shine.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, diving deep into those interview questions, and even getting a glimpse into how AI can give you a serious advantage. But there's still so much more to explore. In our final segment, we'll shift gears a bit and talk about that broader career landscape for program managers, exploring industry trends, advancement paths, and resources to help you navigate this exciting and rewarding field. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been breaking down those program manager interview questions and even got a look at how AI can help us ace them. But now let's step back and look at the bigger picture, the program management career landscape.
Yeah, it really is an exciting field. It's constantly evolving. It's not just traditional projects anymore. Think about things like the rise of digital transformation, the growing focus on sustainability, those complex, multifaceted challenges. That's where program managers really shine.
It's like the whole world is becoming one giant, interconnected program, and we need people who can navigate that complexity.
Exactly. And all that complexity, it actually opens up some exciting specialization opportunities within program management. You could maybe focus on a specific industry, like healthcare or technology, or you could become an expert in a certain methodology, like Agile or Prince2.
You can carve out a niche
Yeah.
that aligns with your passions.
Exactly. And as you gain experience, those advancement paths, they become even more accessible. You could go from managing smaller programs to overseeing larger, more strategic initiatives, or you could move into more of a leadership role, mentoring other program managers, shaping the direction of the whole department.
We're talking senior program manager, program director, even chief program officer. It's really inspiring to see that kind of growth potential.
It is. But remember, success in this field, it's not just about those technical skills. It's about the soft skills, too. Those things we talked about, leadership, communication, emotional intelligence. Those are the qualities that really set apart good program managers from truly great ones.
And of course, continuous learning is key here. You got to stay ahead of the curve in such a fast-paced field.
Absolutely. Certifications like the PMP, Prince2, Agile certifications, those can really boost your credibility and show that you're committed to that professional development. And they also expose you to new ideas and best practices that you can bring back to your own organization.
It sounds like a career that keeps you on your toes, constantly challenges you to learn and grow.
It definitely is. But for people who really thrive on challenge and enjoy solving complex problems, program management is incredibly rewarding. You actually get to see the impact of your work as you guide teams towards achieving those big, ambitious goals.
For those just starting their program management journey, it can feel a little overwhelming at first. What advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid to jump in. There are tons of resources out there to help you build your skills and knowledge. Look for online courses, professional organizations, even mentorship programs. And speaking of resources, don't forget about RoleCatcher's Career Compass feature.
Oh yeah, that's a great tool. It's like having a personalized career advisor in your pocket.
Exactly. You can put in your skills, your experience,
Hmm.
your career aspirations, and the AI will suggest potential career paths for you, identify relevant job openings, and even recommend courses or certifications to help you bridge any skill gaps. It takes all that guesswork out of career planning and gives you a clear roadmap.
Whether you're just starting out or you already have years of experience, RoleCatcher has something to offer.
It's like a personalized toolkit to help you navigate that exciting world of program management.
Well, we've covered so much in this deep dive. Interview tips, career insights, even a peek into the future of program management. What are some final thoughts you want to leave with our listeners?
Here's something to think about. Program management. It's all about creating something meaningful. So how will you use your unique strengths and your experiences to make a real difference in this dynamic and ever-evolving field?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of program management. We hope you feel informed, inspired, and ready to tackle those interviews with confidence. Until next time, happy program managing